What's going on, everyone? Anthony here with HD Toys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I am going to be reviewing the Power Rangers Lightning Collection SPD A Squad Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger. These both came in from GameStop. Kind of threw me off guard because I got no notifications whatsoever, or maybe the email went to my spam. But whatever it is, I did not get the GameStop exclusive pink. For whatever reason, that one is still awaiting in-stock availability. But as you could see here, you have the typical standard window box display that the Lightning Collection comes in. The artwork is the exact same. It's just colored differently, so they didn't make it a more slender helmet for the female. You have down here SPDA Red Ranger, SPDA Yellow Ranger. The artwork that flows over to the side. One more of the reasons that they are the same is that you notice that the visors aren't the different shape as they should be. So it's just laziness on Hasbro parts, I guess. On the back, you have 3D rendering of the figures themselves. The same artwork wrapped around the other side. Red at the top for the Red Ranger, yellow at the top for the Yellow Ranger. Then you have the barcode for the Red Ranger right here. If anybody needs that, go ahead and pause and scan. And then, of course, you have the barcode for the yellow one. All right, there you go. But enough rambling about the packaging. What do you say we go ahead and crack these guys open and see how cool they actually are? All right, so here you have SPDA Red and Yellow Ranger out of packaging, but before we jump into them themselves, let's go ahead and take a quick look at their accessories. So with the Red Ranger, you have your typical gun trigger kind of weapon holding hands on them out of packaging. Then you have one female closed fist right there, and then you have one karate chop female hand right there. So there you go. Then you come with the, I guess what we're going to be calling the standard A Squad weapon, because they are all exactly the same. They're just painted differently to represent their color themselves. So obviously the Blue Ranger came with his with the blue stripes. The red is coming with hers with the red stripe. And that the yellow is coming with his with the yellow stripe. So basically this is probably the easiest pack that they've, or set that they could have done, mainly because it's just reuse, repaint, all in the same wave. Now these were fan channel exclusives. They weren't technically a wave. And if you guys aren't familiar with what fan channel is, it's basically everything that can be sold except for Walmart and Target. So mostly people think fan channels are online only. That's not necessarily the case. It's just, you know, basically not Walmart or Target, and that is considered a fan channel exclusive. So like Best Buy can be considered fan channel exclusive, GameStop, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Dorkside, etc., etc. But yeah, there are your weapons. Other than that, it's just a black molded plastic with some silver paint for the badge right there. Painted on very nicely. Very basic gun. And then you come with the blast effect. The Red Ranger comes with hers in red. You just kind of port that in there like so. If I can just, there you go. Mine's kind of warped out of packaging. And then the yellow comes with his in yellow. So kind of cool that we're getting these in different colors. So I guess their weapons can be firing their color weapons, but it would have been nice to have a more uniform color, in my opinion. Maybe all red, all yellow. That way, if you have like a nice little scene, it'll look a little bit better. But I guess that's just more personal preference. So yeah, there you go. And then for yellow, you have his gun trigger hands on him out of packaging. And then with him, he comes with two closed-fisted hands instead of any karate chop hands. So yeah, there you go. All right, enough of that. So what do you say we just go ahead and jump into the figures themselves? They're basically the exact same details. They just vary in either a male body buck or a female body buck. So let's just go ahead and start with the Red Ranger here. So as you can see, this is done very nicely. One thing I think, if I'm not too sure, I think the silver on like the chest piece is done in a more metallic silver, and I don't think the black was painted on blue. Is it painted on the, yeah, it's painted on yellow. I could be mistaken. I'll pull it out here in a bit to compare, but I believe that this is shinier and there was no black on the back. But once again, I'll check. You have the SPD logo right there on the side. You have a female version of the Red Ranger in space helmet, so that's pretty cool. Let me try to focus in on this. Just wants to focus on the yellow ring. There we go. So it is very nice. It has a sharp edge like it should. Overall, you have this weird little piece that they added on to make it different helmet, but you know, true fans knew that this was the in-space helmet, just reused. The badge on the top is done very nicely. There you go. The knee pads, A Squad right there. Little shin guards going on, little wrist guards. Overall, not too bad. Very basic in terms of designs because it's basically just some hockey pads glorified up. And then you have right here the Yellow Ranger. So as you can see, this is what I was talking about. The shape of the visors of In Space are supposed to be different. And I know there's a lot of fuss about the Pink Ranger just having a repainted Red Ranger helmet, but in pink. So there was no like hoop, like it's supposed to be more rounded on the side for the Pink Ranger, but they just went ahead and painted this pink with the sharp edge as a Red Ranger. Hopefully that's something that's being fixed and that's why they haven't shipped yet, but honestly, since it's already showing up in Asia, that means the product is done. They aren't going to fix it, people. You may be able to get it fixed in like a 2-pack release later on. I don't know, but I doubt they're going to do another helmet recall. But yeah, overall, not too bad. Same details here on the Yellow Ranger, as you can see, except for all the red is now yellow. Same shiny silver for the chest piece, black A on the knee pads. You have the black painted here on the back. Nice metallic silver going on right here on whatever piece they added on for yellow. So yeah, so it's pretty cool that we're getting a female in-space Red Ranger sculpt and a male Yellow Ranger helmet sculpt. So that's pretty neat. One thing that made it a little bit different than the in-space Rangers we already have. So that's pretty cool. If you want to make a male in-space, you can kind of get away with it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not too familiar with the A Squad. As I mentioned in my other previous reviews, SPD was not a series that I watched very regularly. I kind of went in and out. It definitely didn't catch very many of the A Squads if they were in there a lot. But anyways, there you go. Very basic, very plain in my opinion. Just some hockey pads. So let's go ahead and jump into some articulation. So as far as articulation goes, let's just go ahead and start with the female. You have your basic head 360. A little bit of side to side, not too bad. She'll look up about that far, down about that far. You have a, let's see here. Yep, you have an upper diaphragm swivel that will go like so. You have, there you go, ball jointed shoulders that are very stiff on mine. Go out about that far. You do have butterfly joints. So she'll go forward about that far, back about that far, not too far. Then you do full 360, no upper bicep swivel. You do have a single jointed elbow, does rotate at the elbow. And then a wrist rotation full 360 will hinge in about that far, back about that far. Does have a lower ab crunch, not too far forward unfortunately. Does go back a decent amount. Ball jointed hips. We'll do the splits about that far. Upper thigh swivel, full 360. Double jointed knees, still has the pegs. You have the boot cuff swivel right there at the top, and then you have your standard ankle rockers and pivots. Go down about that far, up about that far, left, right, peg holes at the bottom. So your male buck is basically the same more or less, except for the fact that you will have double jointed elbows. So that is the major difference as far as articulation goes between the male and the female. I can't figure out if there is any more. I don't think so. So that is it. There's no need to jump into articulation for the Yellow Ranger. He is basically the same. He just has double jointed elbows. Oh, and this one actually does the splits pretty far. Not the best, but it is definitely more of a non-standard for the Lightning Collection. They don't really do the splits that far. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some size comparisons. Okay, and for size comparison with SPDA Red Ranger, here she is next to SPDB Red Ranger, and then the In-Space Red Ranger. And as you can see, the helmet size compared between male and female is well, pretty big difference. So there you go. That is the size comparisons with these two. And for another size comparison with SPDA Red Ranger, here she is next to a female SPD B squad member, and then here she is next to the first release A squad member, the Blue Ranger. Now another thing to note is that for the Blue Ranger here, they opted to go with white, which is what it was for the actual in-space helmet, and for whatever reason they decided to change it up to silver here on these two releases, which I would assume there's silver on the other two as well. So that is a huge inconsistency. And this is what I was talking about with like the well, they do have the black paint on the back, but the silver itself is much duller, more of a just plastic molding. Rather, this one looks like it was painted in a shiny silver. Big inconsistency across this line. Actually kind of sad. Little kind of a downfall. Hopefully they re-release B or Blue somehow with the corrected paint applications. Honestly, they should have just released like all of them, all 5 in this wave instead of just 4. I mean, that way people can pick and choose if they want to get another one or not. And you know, most people, with it being the correct paint style, they would have opted to get it. But anyways, here you go. Paint inconsistencies, Hasbro. You guys are known for them. Let's try to fix that, shall we? And as for SPD Yellow, here he is next to the In-Space Yellow Ranger female. I obviously don't have a yellow SPD because it is not out yet as of the time of this recording. So I can't really compare the two, but this is what I was talking about. So if you wanted to like do a male in space, you could technically just remove these, shave it down, whatever. Up to you. You do have the bigger helmet sculpt, and then as you can see here, it is white on the in-space figure and silver on the A squad member. So that is kind of a shame that they just couldn't stick with white for whatever reason. But yeah, let's jump into final thoughts because this video is running a little long. So as for final thoughts on these two figures, are they a smash? Are they a pass? Honestly, if you have no emotional attachments to these Rangers at all, I would say this is probably an easy pass. They're basically all the same figures. Honestly, GameStop is probably going to put these on clearance very soon. You know how GameStop works. But if you're into all of them, obviously, get them. They're not bad figures. They're your basic standard Lightning Collection figures. It is such a shame that the blue will be mismatched with the rest of them. I'm probably sure. Oh, and then another thing is, like, these gun trigger hands like aren't actually gun trigger hands. Like, the finger doesn't fit in the little trigger hole. So that is kind of annoying right there. But yeah, it is another annoyance. But besides for that, it is going to suck that blue is going to be different than the pink and green coming out. Because obviously these are going to be the shiny metallics and then the silver on the border outline. Like, it's not even like a slight difference. Because the colors are so prominent, it is such in your face that it is obvious that this is silver and this is blue. But what are you going to do, right? So, if you guys still need these, I'll leave links down in the description below when you can order them. And until next time, guys, later.